Welcome everyone to this tutorial on how to deploy your web application with Ansible. So you need 3 virtual machines for this project, and I'm using AWS EC2. So first we go to the first VM. We will install Jenkins and Ansible in this virtual machine. So we must make sure that we can SSH from the VM1 to VM2 and VM3. So now what we're going to do is we are going to generate a SSH key. So you can just follow this step. So you must copy this public key to the authorized keys in the second virtual machine and the third virtual machine. So you can just follow this step. So as you can see, now we are going to add the public key from the VM1 to VM2, and you can save this configuration. Okay, same thing for the third virtual machine. Okay, paste it. Alright, save. Okay, and also let's try and check whether we added it successfully, and yeah, you can see that it is added successfully. Same with the second virtual machine. Alright, so we copy the private IP and let's try to SSH into root. Yes, and there you go, we can SSH from the master server to the slave, which is the first VM to the second VM. So let's try again the same thing, but we are going to SSH to the third VM. Yes, and there you go, success. So once you have successfully do this, we can proceed to the next task. So right now I will need to install Ansible. So you can just go to this website. I will provide in the link below. So you can just follow these steps in order to install Ansible in the first virtual machine. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to add official Ansible personal package archive to the system software sources. So you must do this in the first virtual machine. So you can just follow the steps. So now you must need to upgrade all installed packages on the system. Now we can install Ansible. Okay, so there you go, you have successfully installed Ansible. Let's check the version, whether you have installed it successfully. So there you go, you can see the version of the Ansible. So now we are going to do, we are going to test whether this Ansible works or not. So we are going to the Ansible configuration file, so sudo etc ansible host. You must use up to your own editor, so I would choose Nano. So what are you going to do is that we are going to add this configuration file, which you can follow. So for this case, we are going to use the IP addresses from the second and the third VM. So now we can see that I have replaced the it. So you just need to follow, and yeah, you must replace it with your own IP address. Do not follow the same one, but same steps. So now let's try to test the Ansible connection. So the first one, okay. So yeah, there's a little bit slight mistake. So we can just enter in sudo. I think, let me see. So now we just need to enter in sudo. So we should see that the connection is now working. So now we know the Ansible is working and the SSH works. So we are going to proceed to the next step, and we are going to install Jenkins on the first virtual machine. But let's first install Java first, because Jenkins requires Java SDK. So you can just follow from this official Jenkins website on how to install Java. So yes, let's just follow. So I'm gonna upgrade the system. So this is the command that I use. We're going to install the Java 21. So let's wait for it to install. It might take some time. Alright, so now the Java has been installed. You can see the version there. So next step, we are going to install Jenkins. You can just copy this command and just paste it on your terminal, and you can just wait for Jenkins to be installed on your virtual machine. Okay, so now Jenkins has been installed. So let's check the status for the Jenkins, and let's see. Okay, so it's active. So by default, Jenkins will run on port 8080. So you can just copy the IP address of your virtual machine and port 8080, and you can enter to Jenkins. So if you require this password has been located for your Jenkins for the first time for your setup, you can just follow the command, and you can just copy this password and paste it. Alright, so now you can just install all the suggested plugins. Sorry, retry. Alright, so yeah, you just wait for these plugins to be installed. So yeah, you can just set up based on all your own configurations, no problem. And there you go, Jenkins is ready to be used. So let's install the needed plugins for this. So we need to install the delivery pipeline and Ansible to run this project. Alright, there you go. So it's installing, so we give it some time. Alright, so it has been successfully installed. So now let's create our pipeline job. So you can name it anything you want. So I will be naming this project web app. Okay, so now click pipeline and okay. So now we have installed, now we have created the pipeline. So what you can do, you can click pipeline script from SCM, select git, and you can just include the repository that you use. So this is my repository that I have created, so I can just copy and yeah, just copy there the link and the credentials. You must create your own credential based on your GitHub account credentials. So use your username for your GitHub and your password. So okay, add, oh yeah, GitHub, and then just click add. There you go. So now it has been done. So my branch is called main, so I will changing it from master to main. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So make sure your file name is Jenkins file. Okay, so now we'll save and let's try to build our project. So okay, first we're gonna see the configurations just one at a time. Okay, let's see Linux syntax. Oh yeah, we forgot to create this one thing. You must follow this. So click Ansible playbook, invoke this one. All right, so you can leave the first one empty, and for this one you can put deploy -docker.yml. so it actually means from this GitHub repository, that file, that's the Ansible playbook. And yeah, we must include the inventory file, which is called dev.inv. And so we must also create an SSH private key. This is for the connection of the Jenkins inside the first virtual machine to be able to SSH to the other two virtual machines. So what you can do, you can just follow the steps, and for this one we need to copy the private key that we actually generated in the first virtual machine earlier. So sudo cat root and id .ssh slash, sorry, yeah, just a little bit problem there. Okay, so cat root.ssh .id.rsa. So yeah, enter. So you can just copy everything in here and make sure to copy and paste it inside there, that one, yeah, the key. All right, just paste it there. So once done, let's check again. All right, save, and yeah, click that one and leave it there empty, everything empty. And also there's one more thing, is that you need to click this one, and there you go. Let's try to generate and let's see whether the code actually looks the same from the GitHub repository. Let's see, because you must make sure that it is exactly the same. If not, then it won't work. Okay, so it's the same. So now you can save it and let's try to build the project. Okay, let's go to console output to see. Okay, so it's fetching. Let's go. Okay, so the Ansible playbook works. Oh no, it's not working. Oh yeah, so slight mistake. So we forgot to change the IP address to be the one that is actually the same for your second virtual machine and your third virtual machine. So there you go. I forgot to change it because that was like this from a previous project. So you must change it based on the target machines, which is the virtual machine 2 and the third virtual machine. So let's check the other one. Okay, copy and paste it. Okay, done. So let's commit the changes. Okay, now we can try to run again our project. Let's see. One more last configuration. Let's see. Okay, so for this one is just to schedule. So if there's any changes in the source code in the repository from the GitHub, this build is going to run automatically without clicking build now. Okay, so now we will try to build the project again. So let's see the console output. So okay, it's running. Okay, all right. So the playbook successfully connected to the second virtual machine and the third virtual machine. So now we are going to wait for everything to be installed. So for now you can see that we check Docker whether it's available or not on the second virtual machine. So we can see that it's not available. So now what this is going to do is that it's going to install all the needed applications and configurations for in order for Docker to work perfectly. So right now we are going to install Docker on all three machines, and yeah, you can see like this something, you can just ignore. Yeah, so now you can see that Docker is already installed there, you can see. So wait, it might take some time for the first time. Let's just wait. Okay, so there's a failure. So let's see what's the problem. I think we can try to just install it again. Let's build it once more again. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna delete the previous job to build. All right, okay, now let's go to the console output. Let's check again. Okay, now so it's installing again. Let's see. Okay, so now everything is installed successfully. So let's see whether all those things have been installed. Let's see, Docker version. Oh, okay, we can see that 3 containers are up and running. So what is running is the web applications that are needed. So we can just copy the IP address and slash dev underscore monorail, because that will be our website name, and you can see that the web is up and running. So let's try to check whether the MySQL is working. So we can try to just create the account for the website. Okay, so we are able to log in after creating the user. So this means that our database is working perfectly. So let's try to purchase. Okay, so we have like some details, confirmation, and let's retrieve it back. Yeah, we can see it is there. So we know that our database is working. So we can also go to what do you call that, my PHP my admin. So the default one that we created for the username is php underscore docker, and the password is exactly password password. Login, and there you go. We can see all the configurations that is needed has been installed, and everything is here in the repository. So based on the repository, yeah, that's the credentials that we have created. You can change it based on your personal interest. So we'll see whether we can see what we created just now. Yeah, there you go. We can see that things that we have created earlier, there it is. It's available here. So we know that website is working. So inside the third virtual machine, we can see whether the containers that we have created is running. And there you go, we can see that Grafana, Prometheus, and black box exporter is up and running. So we can access them by using the IP address and port 9115. So this is for black box exporter. So you can see that based on the configurations that everything is working perfectly. So now we are going to access Prometheus on port 1990. Let's see the configurations, the one that is inside the source code is there or not, and there is it. We can see that it has been installed successfully just by one click from the Jenkins build. Yeah, you can see there targets, endpoint, yeah, everything is there. So next we can try to go to Grafana. So we are going to create the needed dashboard in order to monitor our website's health. So the default username and password is admin. So let's see. So before that, let's see the codes here. Okay, so I'm going to explain what does this codes mean. So the first, it installs aptitude and other necessary system packages including Docker dependencies, adds Docker setups a GPG key and repository, and Python and Docker image, install Python 3 request, pulls a specified Docker image, and Docker compose management. And for the slaves host, we create the web application setup. So we create a directory for a web application, clones a Docker compose repository, and starts the Docker compose application. So for the Prometheus one, we create a monitoring tool setup Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring purpose by pulling Docker images and creating necessary directories, configuring and running the containers. So for the black box exporter, we manage the download, extraction and configuration of the black box exporter tool, including verifying its operation. Just so you know that you need to see this is the specified one that I created for my own project. You can replace it based on your own, but you can also use mine as well. So let's go to Grafana, and we are going to add a new data source from Prometheus and use the third virtual machine. Oh, sorry, we use the second virtual machine. We must use the where the Prometheus has been installed. So click save and test. And now let's create a visualization. So this is the metrics that I will be choosing to create a virtualization. So I'm using a probe HTTP status code. So now we'll create this with tables, and there you can see there. So the values are 200. So 200 means that the website is working fine, and 0 means that the target address is not working, so there's something wrong with it. So in order to make it more eye pleasing, you can just follow these steps to customize it to make it look nicer. So red, so we choose green if it's 200, and red if it's from 0 to 199. So it will be red in color. Okay, so save it. There you go, you can see it there. Let's save this dashboard so that we don't lose this website. So the next metric I'll be choosing is probe underscore http underscore ssl. This checks whether the targeted websites do have SSL with this with the website. So you can see that 1010. So our website that we deployed has no SSL, so it is not secured, so it will show 0 as the value. This is just to create a nice virtualization. You can just follow the steps. So 1 means that SSL is valid, and 0 if there's like any problem with the SSL. All right. Saving the dashboard. Okay, so we're going to rename the dashboard. SSL. Okay, so we are going to create another virtualization, so just follow this step. So what this does is that it calculates the average duration of HTTP probes by each phase of the HTTP request lifecycle. So yeah, you can just follow these steps. We are going to name it HTTP duration and okay, save. So let's just we're going to arrange it to make it look nicer. So there you go, we have successfully created a dashboard to monitor our website health. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new from this video, and you can just fork my GitHub repository if you want to use it for your own project. So thank you and bye bye.